Alright, so now that we are able to know where the user is actually on our application, what we want to go ahead now is to actually display the pages to that user. So go ahead now and clear this index.php file here, and we're just going to clear our access .hp access file. So now we're going to create our first class, and this class is going to be a route class. So it's going to say route.php, and in this class, this is where we're going to be using to invoke the function to actually show the user or create a class. Did I create it? Go ahead and do that again. Route.php. There we go. And then we're just going to open our PHP tags. Now that we have that all set, we're just going to say class route. Just going to give it the same name as we had named it here. We're just going to say open our curly brace here. We could extend the database, and that's something that we're going to be doing later on in the series, but because the database is not there, it's going to throw an error. So that's why I'm just going to remove that for now. Omit that for now. Alright, so now that we have that all set, we're going to create a property, and this property, normally in object-oriented programming, it's variables, and so this is going to be a public static property, basically an array actually, and public is basically the scope of the property here. So we have private and also protected, and we'll discuss that later on in the series. Again, this is an array, this is going to be an empty array. Now for our method, again, in object-oriented programming, we have properties and methods. In normal PHP or procedural PHP, we have functions and variables. So let's go ahead and say, because it's the same, we're just going to use the same static function here. And we're just going to call it set, and this is going to accept a route and a function. So this will be, well, that's not spell correctly. So this is going to be the route that we're going to pass into it, so that the user will be able to, or the user will be able to move from, basically like slash whatever or something like that. So this is basically what it's going to look like in the end. So let's go ahead and refresh it, because I was messing around this thing. I made this video around 3 times or 4 or 5 times now, but let's see if this one actually works. Alright, so because I'm not finished, that's why it was throwing an error. So let's go ahead now. So this is what it'll accept, and the function and a function. So these are the 2 parameters that it will accept. So we're going to go ahead and now say self. As we're using static methods and properties, we have to use self to call our variables or methods. And we're going to say self. If we were using normal, like removing this here, then what we'll do is we'll say this $sign this and map it to whatever. Because we're using self, we're using binary scope operators, or binary or scope operators here. We're just gonna equal that to this variable right here. It's gonna equal that here. And that's pretty much it for there. I could go ahead and print out the routes that we'll get, but I don't think that's very much necessary. So but just for you to have an understanding, I'm just gonna print them out. You'll see what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna say self validate the routes, and print those out. But I'm gonna remove the afterwards, as it's not really needed. So now we need to check for that route that the user is basically on. So it's gonna use that same thing that we use the get method, HTTP method, to get whatever is in the URL, and we're going to just check if that is equal to whatever route is being passed into whatever route that we have here in the set method, which you'll see later on. We use use call this function, whatever route is in the URL. If it's equal to that, then we're going to invoke a function route equal to route. Then we're going to invoke a function. We're going to use a built-in. We're going to call this function here. We're going to call this function, and then we're going to use a built-in PHP function here called invoke, and this is what it's going to basically invoke the function that we'll be using, and that is pretty much it. Again, this is not necessary. I'm going to remove the operator, but I'm going to show you how different routes then when they are printed out. Alright, so the next thing that we need to do is we need to create a controller. This controller here is going to be our base controller. So our base controller, we're just going to call it controller.php, and this one here is going to extend the database just the same. However, again, the database is not present, so we're just going to leave that out for now. Just going to say controller as we're using the same name that is given there, that we gave it there, I should say. So this is our controller here. Now in our controller folder, we're just going to create one method. So this method is going to be a public method, and this is the one that is going to be creating this function here. Well, we're going to be used to call whatever function that we need to create a view. So it's going to call it create a view. So we're going to create a static function just the same, and eventually moving on, we're going to create some different functions rather than static. But static, you do not need to create any instance, and that is why it's probably used a lot. But I think it's easier, but you have to know when and where to use these functions. So we're just gonna take a variable or a property that's the view name, which is going to be in here. So afterwards you'll see how that works. So when we get this view name, then we're going to require it. We're going to require it from the folder here. So we're going to require it once. I'm going to use the function, and we're just going to do the same thing like what we would have done in the previous video, where we just say that this file name, so the views file name, and then we're going to get this, whatever is passed, whatever file is passed, that's the file that we're going to get. So we're just going to say that, and then we're just going to pin on the .php extension as well. We're going to use this. We don't want to be adding the dot extension. We just want to just put the first part of the name. Alright, so let's go ahead now and create a view, and our view is going to be our index view, and this is the view is going to load basically this page. However, it's not what's going to be displayed on it. What's going to be displayed is what is actually in this page here. So even though we have the .php extension, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write some HTML code in here. So I'm going to add a title, which we are going to call COVID-19 cases case report center. Case report center. All right, now I'm just going to create a, let's say, a low, how do I put this, a div that will cover everything, and then I'm going to add two other divs in here. So I'm going to put this div here, which is going to have our header, so we should know that h1. I'm just going to copy this right here. This is going to go into the top area of the page, while this one is just going to be down in the body of the page. So I'm just going to put another one, and this will have like cases. I'm just going to put cases here. This should be h1, and then we're going to copy this here and put it right here. H1. Get rid of this space and get rid of like stay. And we're going to save this, and then you're going to see this displayed on the screen, even though it's being loaded. As you'll see that it's actually just loading everything from here. It's going to go into the classes, pick this up, going to go and pick up this right here, and it's also going to go and pick the view here, did not find it. I think I'm going to show you when it did not find it, and then you'll see what will happen. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just create a controller for the index. I'll call it index controller. So now index controller actually not PHP, and this is going to be just a class, just the same. We're not going to add anything in there yet until we are ready to work with the database. Let's say class available structure. I'm not sure if I want to do that, but I have not. I'm just gonna put this the way that I want. It would extend. It's gonna extend. So I'm gonna leave that because it's gonna extend the. It's gonna extend the controller here. So it's gonna extend the base controller. Let's rename this to index controller or control. We don't need this constructor right now, at least we're not going to use it. I don't think we're going to use any constructor in here. So we're going to leave that, and that is a built-in function. You can see the similarity with the two underscore there. Get rid of that, and we don't really need to do anything in here right now. So that's pretty much it for right there. Now we need to register those routes. So we're just going to go ahead and open our routes folder or file. When we open that now, then what we're going to, well, here we have this thing here. We're actually playing around with it. So I'm just gonna clear this out, and then I'm gonna show you what's going to happen. I'm gonna just go ahead and explain because you probably won't understand just by seeing that. So we are using this class right here. And we also have this function, so we're going to set this function here. So we're just going to say set the function, and it's a function again. It took two parameters, the route and a function. So then we're going to put the index for this one. We're going to add other routes, so we're going to add like keys, add keys, and stuff like that. So this one is just for this page here. So this is just the main page that we're looking at. All right. So the next thing that we need is a function. This is our function here, and in our function, I'll just go ahead and close it off for now. In our function here, we're going to use the index controller. So this index controller. And this index controller, a class here, the class to call create view. Create view. I'm going to use it to call create view. Okay, so continue. So we're going to use this class, going to call this class here, and it took a parameter, which will be the file, as I said earlier. Where was I? As I said earlier, and we're just going to pass that to it. So we're just going to say index, which is this file, and again, we don't need the .php extension as we already attached it right here. We already attached it here. And what I want to do, I'm going to add the .php extension, and then it's going to throw an error or something, or if it doesn't show an error, then what will happen is where was it? We in the index.php file we had said that file not found if it did not do that. So let's go ahead and refresh this now, and you can see cases is being the page that we said it is being printed out, and also this here, which should have been an array, because this was an array of cases that we would have placed. So this is what is being printed out here. It should have been an array, because this is printing out an array to print our statement, our print resources, and that is pretty much it. Let's see if we put the dot. Let's see how much time I already have. I don't want to go too far. Okay, so we're gone pretty much too far, but so let's look at that at a later video. So thanks for watching, and that's pretty much it. So see you in the next video.